Welcome to Bible in a Year with Scott Purcell. I'm so glad you're joining me. This is a daily reading of portions of the Bible, following a plan that will include the entire Bible in a year. And now, let's open the book and begin our readings. This is the reading for day 139. If your reading is aligned with the calendar year in a non-leap year, this is for May 19th. Or in a leap year, for May 18th. The Old Testament reading is from 1 Samuel 2, beginning at verse 27, through 1 Samuel 3 and 1 Samuel 4. 1 Samuel 2:27. Now a man of God came to Eli and said to him, Thus says Yahweh, Did I not clearly reveal myself to the house of your ancestor when they were in Egypt under the house of Pharaoh? And I chose him from all the tribes of Israel to be a priest to me, to go up to my altar, to burn incense, and to bear an ephod before me. I gave to the house of your ancestor all the offerings made by fire by the Israelites. Why do you despise my sacrifice and my offering, which I commanded for my dwelling place, while you honored your sons more than me by making yourselves fat from the best of all the offerings of my people Israel? Therefore, declares Yahweh, the God of Israel, though I solemnly said that your house and the house of your ancestor would walk before me forever, but now, declares Yahweh, far be it from me. For those who honor me I will honor, but those who despise me I will treat with contempt. Look, days are coming when I will cut off your strength, and the strength of the house of your ancestor, so that no one in your house will live to old age. You will look at the distress of my dwelling place, despite all the good caused for Israel, but there will never be an old man in your household forever. The only one I will not cut off from my altar is you. Rather, to cause your eyes to fail, and to cause your soul to grieve, all the members of your household will die as men. This is the sign for you that will come regarding your two sons Hophni and Phinehas. They will both die on the same day. But I will raise up for myself a reliable priest. He will do just according to what is in my heart and in my soul. I will build for him a lasting house, and he will walk continually before my anointed one forever. All the remainder of your household will come to bow down before him for a bit of silver or a loaf of bread, and will say, Please assign me to one of the priestly offices so that I can eat a morsel of bread. 1 Samuel chapter 3. Now the boy Samuel was serving Yahweh in the presence of Eli. The word of Yahweh was rare in those days. Visions were not widespread. And then one day when Eli was lying in his place, now his eyes had begun to grow weak so that he was not able to see, and the lamp of God had not yet gone out. Samuel was lying in the temple of Yahweh where the ark of God was. Then Yahweh called out to Samuel, and he said, Here I am. And he ran to Eli and said, Here I am, because you called me. But he said, I did not call you. Go back and lie down. So he went and lay down. And Yahweh called Samuel again. So Samuel got up and went to Eli and said, Here I am, because you called me. And he said, I did not call you, my son. Go back and lie down. Now Samuel did not yet know Yahweh, and the word of Yahweh had not yet been revealed to him. Again Yahweh called Samuel a third time. So he got up and went to Eli and said, Here I am, because you called me. Then Eli realized that Yahweh was calling the boy. So Eli said to Samuel, Go lie down. If he calls to you, then you must say, "Speak, Yahweh, because your servant is listening." So Samuel went and lay down in his place. Then Yahweh came and stood there and called out as before, "Samuel, Samuel." And Samuel said, "Speak, because your servant is listening." So Yahweh said to Samuel, "Look, I am doing something in Israel which will cause the 2 ears of everyone who hears it to tingle. On that day I will fulfill against Eli all that I have spoken against his household from beginning to end. I will make him know that I am about to judge his household forever because of the iniquity that he knew, for his sons were bringing curses on themselves, but he did not rebuke them. Therefore I swore to the house of Eli that the iniquity of the house of Eli would not be atoned for by sacrifice or by offering forever." So Samuel lay down until morning. Then he opened the doors of the house of Yahweh. But Samuel was afraid of telling the vision to Eli. Then Eli called Samuel and said, "Samuel, my son." And he said, "Here I am." And he said, "What is the message that he spoke to you? Please do not conceal it from me. May God punish you severely if you conceal anything from me of all the words that he told you." So Samuel told him all the words and did not conceal anything from him. And he said, "He is Yahweh. He will do what is good in his sight." And Samuel grew up, and Yahweh was with him. He did not allow any of his prophecies to go unfulfilled. All Israel, from Dan to Beersheba, realized that Samuel was faithful as a prophet to Yahweh. And Yahweh appeared again in Shiloh, for Yahweh revealed himself to Samuel in Shiloh through the word of Yahweh. 1 Samuel chapter 4. And the word of Samuel came to all Israel. Now Israel went out to meet the Philistines for battle, and they encamped at Ebenezer, and the Philistines encamped at Aphek. The Philistines lined up for the battle to meet Israel, and the battle was prolonged until Israel was defeated before the Philistines, who killed about 4,000 men on the battlefield. When the army came back to the camp, the elders of Israel asked, "Why has Yahweh defeated us today before the Philistines? Let us bring the ark of the covenant of Yahweh to us from Shiloh, so that it may come into our midst and deliver us from the hands of our enemies." So the army sent to Shiloh and brought from there the ark of the covenant of Yahweh of hosts, who sits between the cherubim. And the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the ark of the covenant of God. Now when the ark of the covenant of Yahweh arrived at the camp, all Israel let out a loud shout so that the earth shook. When the Philistines heard the noise of the shouting, they said, "What is the noise of this loud shouting in the camp of the Hebrews?" Then they learned that the ark of Yahweh had come into the camp. So the Philistines were afraid, for they said, "God has come to the camp." And they said, "Woe to us, for this has never happened before. Woe to us! Who can deliver us from the hand of these mighty gods? These are the same gods who struck the Egyptians with all sorts of plagues in the desert. Take courage and be men, you Philistines, lest you end up serving the Hebrews, just like they have served you. Be men and fight." So the Philistines fought, and Israel was defeated, and each man fled to his tent, for the slaughter was very great. 30,000 foot soldiers from Israel fell. Furthermore, the ark of God was captured, and the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, died. A man of Benjamin ran from the battle line and came to Shiloh that same day, and his clothes were torn, and earth was on his head. When he came, there was Eli sitting on his chair by the side of the road watching, because his heart was anxious about the ark of God. Now the man had come to give his report in the city, and all the city cried out. When Eli heard the noise of the outcry, he said, "What is the noise of this commotion?" Then the man came quickly and told Eli. Now Eli was 98 years old, and his eyes stayed fixed ahead, and he was not able to see. And the man said to Eli, "I am the one who has come from the battle line. I have fled today from the battle line." And he said, "What exactly happened, my son?" Then the messenger answered and said, "Israel has fled before the Philistines. There has been a great defeat among the troops. Also, your 2 sons have died, Hophni and Phinehas, and the ark of God has been captured." Just as he mentioned the ark of God, he fell from his chair backwards against the side of the gate. He broke his neck and died because the man was old and heavy. He had judged Israel 40 years. Now his daughter-in-law, the wife of Phinehas, was pregnant and about to give birth. When she heard the news concerning the capture of the ark of God, and that her father-in-law and her husband had died, she went into labor and gave birth because her labor pains came upon her. Just before the time of her death, those attending her said, "Do not fret, for you have given birth to a son." But she did not answer or pay any attention. She called the boy Ichabod, saying, "The glory has departed from Israel," referring to the capture of the ark of God and concerning her father-in-law and husband. And she said, "The glory has departed from Israel because the ark of God was captured." The New Testament reading is from John chapter 11, from verse 1 through 44. John 11:1. Now a certain man was sick, Lazarus, from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. Now it was Mary who anointed the Lord with perfumed oil and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. So the sisters sent word to him, saying, "Lord, behold, the one whom you love is sick." And when he heard it, Jesus said, "This sickness is not to death, but for the glory of God, in order that the Son of God may be glorified through it." Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that he was sick, then he remained in the place where he was 2 days. Then after this he said to the disciples, "Let us go to Judea again." The disciples said to him, "Rabbi, the Jews were seeking just now to stone you, and are you going there again?" Jesus replied, "Are there not 12 hours in the day? If anyone walks around in the daylight, he does not stumble because he sees the light of this world. But if anyone walks around in the night, he stumbles because the light is not in him." He said these things, and after this he said to them, "Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going so that I can wake him." So the disciples said to him, "Lord, if he has fallen asleep, he will get well." Now Jesus had been speaking about his death, but they thought that he was speaking about real sleep. So Jesus said to them plainly, "Lazarus has died, and I am glad for your sake that I was not there, so that you may believe. But let us go to him." Then Thomas, the one who is called Didymus, said to his fellow disciples, "Let us go also, so that we may die with him." So when he arrived, Jesus found he had already been 4 days in the tomb. Now Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 15 stadia. So many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary in order to console them concerning their brother. Now Martha when she heard that Jesus was coming, went to meet him, but Mary was sitting in the house. So Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Even now I know that whatever you ask God, God will grant you." Jesus said to her, "Your brother will rise again." Martha said to him, "I know that he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day." Jesus said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me, even if he dies, will live. And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die forever. Do you believe this?" She said to him, "Yes, Lord, I have believed that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who comes into the world." And when she had said this, she went and called her sister Mary privately, saying, "The teacher is here and is calling for you." So that one, when she heard it, got up quickly and went to him. Now Jesus had not yet come into the village, but was still in the place where Martha went to meet him. So the Jews who were there with her in the house and were consoling her, when they saw Mary, that she stood up quickly and went out, followed her, because they thought that she was going to the tomb in order to weep there. Then Mary, when she came where Jesus was and saw him, fell at his feet, saying, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Then Jesus, when he saw her weeping, and the Jews who came with her weeping, was deeply moved in spirit, and was troubled within himself. And he said, "Where have you laid him?" They said to him, "Lord, come and see." Jesus wept. So the Jews were saying, "See how he loved him?" But some of them said, "Was not this man who opened the eyes of the blind able to do something so that this man also would not have died?" Then Jesus, deeply moved within himself again, came to the tomb. Now it was a cave, and a stone was lying on it. Jesus said, "Take away the stone." Martha, the sister of the one who had died, said to him, "Lord, he is stinking already, because it has been 4 days." Jesus said to her, "Did I not say to you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone. And Jesus lifted up his eyes above and said, "Father, I give thanks to you that you hear me. And I know that you always hear me. But for the sake of the crowd standing around, I said it, so that they may believe that you sent me." And when he had said these things, he cried out with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out!" The one who had died came out, his feet and his hands bound with strips of cloth, and his face wrapped with a face cloth. Jesus said to them, "Untie him and let him go." The wisdom literature reading is from Psalm 64, verses 1 through 10. Psalm 64. For the music director, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O God, in my lamenting. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret plots of evildoers, from the unrest of those who do iniquity, who sharpen their tongue like a sword. They bend their bow to shoot their arrows, bitter words, to shoot from their hiding places at the blameless. Suddenly they shoot at him and do not fear. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. They talk of secretly laying snares. They say, "Who will see them?" They carefully plot injustices, saying, "We have perfected the perfect plot." Both the inner thought and heart of a man are deep. But God will shoot them. With an arrow they will suddenly be wounded. and they who would cause him to stumble, their own tongue will be against them. All who gaze on them will shake. And then all men will fear, and will declare the working of God, and will understand his doing. The righteous will rejoice in Yahweh and take refuge in him, and all the upright in heart will boast. This concludes the reading for day 139. Thank you for listening. These daily readings are made possible by your generous support of the Global Outreach Ministry of Scott Purcell. To partner with us and enable this work and others like it, please visit huttobible.com/give and select Go Pastor Support from the fund list. You can also sign up for ministry updates at scott-purcell.epistle.org/subscribe. Both of those links can be found in the podcast description. Thank you for helping us share God's Word.